I done come back with some food and water. Got hungry. My fat ass always hungry. All right, so we're gonna do the prelude, and then we're gonna get into the actual game, just so we can go ahead and get an understanding of what's happening. All right, let's get into it. Rinko? God damn it, Rinko. Erica? No one wants to talk about it, but it's all that's on anyone's minds these days. Mysterious things are happening all around
Shibuya.
Shibuya. Sightings, attacks, disappearance, fears. How is a kid supposed to be a kid in a time like this? But honestly, Ryota never really was like most kids. He's not usually glued to his phone all day. Ryota's concerns bring him to a mysterious case file posted online. It's titled The Kaigoka Vanishing. He reads it to himself the best he can. Having tracked another report of dark fog in the area, I arrived to find it had passed, leaving dreary rain hanging over the neighborhood. At the scene, all we found were clothes of the mother and son left behind like two molted cicada shells. That's when the obvious culprits returned to the scene of the crime, a group of monsters. They had umbrellas of their own, as if the rain followed them. Wherever they go, I was furious. I brought hell down onto them, and at that very moment, God, it's hard to read. They tried to protect themselves with the umbrellas, but it just kept pounding on them until they were battered and broken. I was so exhausted. I could have fallen over at any moment, but my utter wrath kept me going. As I picked up to leave, I still refused to open up my own umbrella. I just walked away, rain pouring and soaking me to the bone. KK. Social media would never lie, and that means KK is an expert, maybe the expert, in all things paranormal. There's only one thing left to do. I'm going to ask this KK guy for help. I just gotta figure out where he lives first. The stall is brimming as a wide array of customers eat in relative silence. The only sound they make is a slurping of their noodles. That silence breaks when a phone begins to vibrate upon the countertop. The owner ignores it, choosing to focus on his meal instead. The phone doesn't care about his hunger and continues to vibrate. The phone wins. The peace and solitude have shattered. There is no way to enjoy noodles. God damn it. The silent diner finally glances at the screen. He begins to mutter to himself. Another case. These people have me working harder than my enemies ever did. Can't even get 5 minutes to enjoy a nice quiet lunch. Oh.
We've been trying to reach you concerning your car's extended warranty.
We'll answer it. Let me guess, I'll be risking life and limb. That's why you let it ring for so long? Too scared to pick up? You know the exact day I stopped being scared of anything. But right now there's nothing dangerous to be worried about. It's a simple check-in on a report of some suspicious activity that might be connected with a phenomena we've been looking into. I'm already out. Send me the info and I'll get on it. First, though, I need to talk to one of you about something. Let's talk to Ed. Unfortunately, I know about the legend of the manhole girl. So far, it is that it's just that. That was a hard sentence. What the hell? Ryota doesn't notice the people passing him on the street. They don't notice him either. He is young and he is very much alone. His focus is centered on the small bit of paper in his hands. After a couple folds, the paper finds a familiar configuration. With a head, arms, and body, it takes a shape, a palm-sized person standing right in his hand. As Ryota inspects his creation, someone who has been observing him from afar steps out of the shadows. What have you got there? Ryota looks up. He's nervous, but clutches the paper doll in his hand to stay brave. He's not running or hiding, despite the gruff stranger staring at him. So you really are him, huh? Gonna have to be more specific, kid. You're KK, the ghost hunter from the files. You must be. I just thought you'd be taller. They say you solve strange mysteries, right? KK. Maybe? The detective looks closely at Ryota's phone. He sees the social media posts featuring photos and various case files he had worked on, collected in one place. Look, I only use those initials because writing out my name is a pain, and I've got too much pain already. Not your problem, right? Anyhow, that's me, KK. I'm not a ghost hunter, I'm a detective. Not trying to pull a fast one on me, are you, kid? It's true, honest. My buddy Sosuke disappeared. He hasn't come home since yesterday. Last place I saw him was right back here. Ryota motions to the alleyway behind him. He went down that way. I tried to follow, but I couldn't find him. He was completely gone. I just need a quick word with one of you to follow up on what the kid has told me. You find anything else? I know you've been searching over on your fancy computer. Some worrying details have started to emerge. The type of details that means he is for sure involved. Social media is starting to fill up with posts about appearances of a mysterious dark fog. It's been popping up in neighborhoods with similar data sets to the one Ryota called from. School absences are also on the rise. I can't confirm if those represent actual disappearances or just spooked kids trading scary stories, but it's clear fear and paranoia is taking hold. But I do appreciate your input, even if I already knew it all. Ryota, it's time to find him. Nothing looks out of place, but things are rarely what they seem. KK slowly and deliberately reaches his hands out. He's not holding on to anything, but you would think that he is by the way he's moving, like he's got something invisible dangling from his fingers. Ryota has a clue from what he's trying to do, but he watches closely. However, what happens next can only be seen by KK's eyes. As KK opens his fingers, a sparkling orb of energy drops from his hand down to the ground. It ripples like water in a still pond, energy flowing outward into the world. Ooh. It's over there. A strange trail floats into view as though the spirit has passed through this plane. Psychic energy? The trail leads further on, deeper into the alley and out of view. Guess he went that way. The world's a scary place. It keeps getting worse. We're gonna find your friend and get you back to your life. KK and Rinko are in big trouble. This time running like rats, desperately to stay alive, with only a dingy old sofa between them and monsters. We'd better find another exit. Rinko turns to KK and sees him holding his head. He appears to be in a great pain. Damn, it happened again. Your body's reacting to the ether. As KK looks at the room, his vision begins to break in half. He tries to focus, but rather than reforming, everything continues to split apart even further. Another hallucination. The world is breaking in two. That'd be crystallized ether, another form of the matter. Sounds like your body has entered the final stage of affinity. From thin air, like phantoms, these horrific visitors appearing surrounding KK and Rinko. Damn, we're surrounded. Mr. KK? Are you okay? Huh? Sorry, kid. My mind can be a little hard to control. You just kind of stood there for a little while. Sometimes my memories take me places. Hate to leave you alone again, but you need to wait here while I look for your pal. Sit tight, I won't be long. Interesting. Damn, they're everywhere. KK's eyes dart between the two horrific figures and to some incredible, strange, glowing crystals that hover nearby, and as he tries to speak, KK wheezes painfully. Rinko, what would happen if someone tried to touch one of those ether crystals? Your guess is as good as mine. Might give you the power to fight back. Might just make you even more miserable. Who can say? Before Rinko can say anything else, KK reaches all the way out. That didn't look good. A spectral vision shows KK a lot more than what he thought it might, revealing a glowing specter hovering in this dark and dreary place. The spirit is a man of his 30s. A Jabakuri. According to the Japanese lores, it's a type of spirit that is trapped in a physical location. Okay, Spectre, what's keeping you tied down there? KK hands the phone to Ryota and motions for him to accept this call. Yes? Is this Mr. Ryota? Yes. I'm so excited that I get to speak with you. I have heard that you are quite the investigator. I need help from someone like you. What could I do to help you? Well, our friend who is there with you, he actually has 2 missions. Since he is looking for your friend, maybe you could swap and look for my friend? If we share the responsibility, I'm sure that we can achieve success together as a team. Ryota hands the phone back to KK and turns his attention to the nearest trash can. Phone out, and he seems to be inspecting each side of it. Lucky for you, your new buddy is an animal lover, just like me. I've given him a rescue mission to find a missing cat and send me photos of it. Well, what if he succeeds? Tons of strays here. He might actually bump into one. I could always use more cat pics text to me, and maybe he'll give it a home that needs it. Win-win. Now to get down there and find your pal. Dirty water splashes under KK's feet as he makes his way through the still darkness of the Shibuya sewers. The further he goes, the darker it gets, but not because of any change in light. No, this darkness is unnatural. In fact, it is not darkness at all. It's tangible. Dense fog made up of spiritual energy fills the air. Toxic, paranormal waste coats the ground and plugs the drains. But the air itself is rejecting him. His corruption flows between worlds and reaches around him, blocking KK's way. How long has it been building up right below our feet? Is it like this everywhere? As KK goes deeper, the Kagari only increases. Alone in the darkness, KK summons his power and hold and trace the shape to clear the sewer corruption. Oh, 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 ta-da! Look at that. Cleanse the corruption, returning the sewers to its normal state. That's better, minus the stink. With the Kagari now cleared, as if they were waiting for a moment of safety, someone appears. Sasosuke? Is that you? The small boy avoids KK's look, turning his back and picking at something on the wet ground. Splish, splash, splish, splash. Hey you, kid. You okay? Can you hear me? Are you hiding from something? Take a bath, take a bath. Come on, kid, this isn't the time or place. Answer me. I'm not trying to scare you, but you gotta work with me here. In the vast darkness of the sewers, the sound of KK's phone suddenly rings out, the tiny chime echoing back and forth around the hollow spaces. The small boy in the raincoat doesn't seem to notice. He must be very preoccupied. I'm close. I found Sasosuke, and I'm worried. He won't. Muffled sounds. Down so far, the signal to KK's phone is barely holding on. He can only make out a few sounds and struggles to make out what words he might be forming. Muffled sound. Scratchy connection makes almost impossible to understand. Not Sasosuke. The call cuts out and the phone's going dead in KK's hand. Damn. Enough screwing around, Sasosuke. Just like that, finally, as if called by his mother to come to dinner, the child responds. He stands up and turns to KK with his dead evil eyes. You're not Sasosuke, you're a monster. KK raises his hand and calls forth an energy that he discovered that day long ago. The day he found his back against the wall, reaching out and touching an ether crystal. Ever heard of ethereal weaving monster? As the monstrous little raincoat visitor blows his whistle, he steps back into the shadowy darkness. Running away, huh? But it's not running away at all. In fact, he's only making space. Two much larger, far more horrifying visitors just showed up to challenge KK. I've been waiting to run into you again. Let's go, you bastards. Summon a shield to protect from one visitor's attack. Damage a single visitor with wind attack. Visitors perish after 2 hits. A talisman that stops visitors from moving. It will be consumed on use. We'll stop them. The umbrella visitors are frozen in place. Only one stun talisman is left. We'll now hit them with... one umbrella visitor is injured. The umbrella visitor awakens from stun. A barrier appears in front of KK. The umbrella visitor attacks, but the attack is deflected by the barrier. The barrier is broken. We'll hit him with another wind. One umbrella visitor is injured. An umbrella visitor attacks. A barrier appears in front of KK. It is deflected by the barrier. The barrier is broken. We'll hit him with another wind. One umbrella visitor is injured. The umbrella visitor attacks, and we'll put up a barrier. And deflected. Barrier is broken, and we'll attack him again. You're done. Shwink! The fight's now over. The sewer's oddly calm again. KK sweeps in this space, looking for any clues that may be left behind. Why would a pack of monsters manifest their evil here? But then he sees it, affixed to one wall, a tunnel. A wooden tag, something called a kafuda. This must be what summoned those things. KK reached out to take the kafuda down, but his fingertips approach it.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Rinko? God damn it, Rinko. Erica? KK feels a big, quick thump through his body. When he looks down, he sees someone else's arm stabbing through his chest. It's horrifying. Black smoke rushes out from his body. Looking back up, KK sees a man wearing a hyena mask. Gasp. As KK comes to, he realizes that he is in the tunnel once again. No, still. He looks at his chest. It's totally fine. No gaping hole, not even a scratch. Sweating, breathing heavy, his mind races. It was a horrible dream, maybe a vision. He grips the kafuda in his hand. I won't let him get away with this. So hard that it smashes into pieces. At that moment, KK realizes he's not actually alone. Distracted by his fury, he had missed the approaching of someone new. Who's there? Surprised, he spins to face this entity, but before he can raise his other hand... Safely above ground, reunited with his team, KK turns his attention to the original source of all the drama, his young client, Ryota. You were never going to tell me, were you? Sasosuke is your best friend. He's your dog. He's my dog and my best friend. KK steps back nervously as Sasuke tries to jump into his lap, tail wagging. Oh, calm down. He just wants to be pet. Jeez. Who'd have thought that such a tough as nails former detective would have such a strong phobia around dogs? Don't have to broadcast it, alright? Don't be scared. Sasuke loves people. Maybe he should draw the line at loving monsters and following them into the sewers. Ryota hugs his dog to get a face full of licks in response. KK relaxes slightly, seeing how harmless this little dog is, but still keeps some distance. Thank you so much for bringing him home safely, Mr. KK. Mr. KK, what an adorable alias. When exactly did you start going by this new short name, KK? It doesn't matter what anyone calls me, so long as I find that bastard. I said, I guess KK's not so bad. Hey, that was kind of dope. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a lot of talking, but that was all right. I like that. I like that a lot. That was real nice.